do spirit and soul truly exist? I mean, it's a question we all bump into at some point, right? Are they real, or are they just stories we tell ourselves? Now, a lot of people just chalk this up to faith, but what if it's not just about faith? What if we could look at this with a different lens, using a bit of logic and digging into some ancient evidence? All right, first up, a world beyond sight. Let's challenge one of the most common assumptions we all make. Think about it. The number one reason people are skeptical is pretty straightforward. If I can't see it, it doesn't exist. But does that argument really hold up? Let's test it. Okay, quick question. Can you see the air you're breathing right now? The air that's literally keeping you alive? And what about your own mind? Can you actually see a thought? Can you point to where happiness is physically? So does that mean they don't exist? Of course not. We know they're real. The fact that they're invisible doesn't make them any less real. And that's the whole point. Your mind, your consciousness, your thoughts, they are undeniably, absolutely real. You experience them every single second, even though you can't see them. Okay, so let's move on to the next piece of this puzzle, proof in the invisible. So, what's the very first book to ever actually record the existence of a spirit and a soul? The answer might surprise you. It's the Bible. Now, if we just look at it as a historical document, it's one of the first places we find this really clear idea, a spiritual body that's totally separate from our natural physical one. And check this out from 1 Corinthians. It says, "It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body." It's so direct. It says, hey, if you got a natural body, you've also got a spiritual one. There's no ambiguity there at all. So let's break that down. The natural body, that's our physical form, the one we have right here on earth. The spiritual body, that's the form that's said to continue on after our physical life is over. But it gets even more detailed. This verse from 1 Thessalonians breaks us down into 3 distinct parts: spirit, soul, and body. So it's not just some vague idea. It's presented as a really specific ancient framework. So we've looked at an ancient source, but this isn't a history lesson. Why should any of this matter to you today? Because this is where it stops being just philosophy and becomes something with real personal stakes. According to this framework, it directly impacts your eternal life. This is where it gets serious. Here's a good way to think about it. An analogy. For 9 months, everything a mother does directly shapes the health and future of her baby. Well, in the same way, this framework suggests that the life you live right now on Earth is actively shaping the destiny of your spirit and soul. And who's in charge of that destiny? You are. Every single day. It's in your thoughts, the words you choose to speak, and the actions you take. It all comes down to a simple, powerful law of cause and effect. Every single choice you make becomes a cause, and those causes all add up to determine the final result. So let's talk about that. This all points to one big idea. Your life today is literally creating the soul you'll have tomorrow, which brings us to the final and most important question. The real question isn't just, does the soul exist, but what destiny are you creating for yours? That's a pretty deep question to sit with, I know, but just thinking about it is the first step. And I really hope that my explainers, like this one, can help you think through how to build the life you truly want. Hey, if you got something out of this and want to keep exploring these big ideas, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and definitely hit that notification bell. It really helps and you won't miss what's next. Thanks for diving in with me.